Hey, I thought I'd do a quick video introduction. Apologies for hair and everything else. Hypopressives are a breath-led, posture-based and breath-based exercise program. It's super simple. You learn to do the costal breathing, you learn where your posture imbalances are, and we correct them and help you get there, find the balance. And then after that, we bring in a unique breath hold or pause. This unique breath hold allows us to gently lift or create lift within the inside of your body, lifting your pelvic floor from above. So instead of tightening, like a Kegel would tighten, we gently draw the pelvic floor up from above. But while we're practicing the costal breathing and the posture, we're still exercising your pelvic floor, because every time you take a great breath, you actually also engage your pelvic floor. So when you widen your rib cage, your pelvic floor widens and stretches or lengthens. Lengthen's a good word for it. And then as you exhale and your rib cage gently draws to a close, your pelvic floor also draws in. So we have this extension and contraction of the pelvic floor, which means that we create a functional pelvic floor, not a tight one and not a weak one. So there's a little bit of information in this book. If you'd like to learn more, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm sorry I look so rough. I'm on holiday just now, and the people above us made so much noise last night. I got no sleep, so I'm actually outside where it's much quieter. Okay, so get in touch if you would like to know more. I'm happy to have a chat at all times. Well, not all times, but when I'm available, and discuss what might work best for you. Okay, take care. Bye.
First things we want to tackle with hypopressives is how we manage pressure in this area of the body. The majority of people have poor choices when it comes to breathing, and this is the way that they kind of condense pressure into one place. So for example, we'd have upper chest breathers who use their scalenes predominantly and their shoulders, and their breath moves like this. This may be you. So if you find that if you put your hand here, the majority of the movement is here. It could also mean that you're thrusting your ribcage forward as you breathe too. The other breath pattern that we see a lot is belly breathing, where instead of engaging any other part of the body, we push straight down with the pressure towards the abdominals, breathing like this. Off and side. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to find a way to create more space in our body to manage the pressure. And we're going to do this through our rib cage. So we're going to take our hands and we're going to place them round towards the lower ribs. So the lower ribs here, there's a lot of cartilage here, and then we come to true ribs towards the back or the sides here. So we're going to put our hands around this cartilagey movement bit. Then what I'd like you to do first of all is focus on, as you inhale, pressing your ribcage out towards the sides. We're creating a lateral movement towards the side. So we're going to take 2 breaths here. Good. And you can inhale through your nose and exhale through your jaw if you're somebody who holds a lot of tension here. Or you can inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose if you find that more comfortable, as long as you can keep your jaw nice and still. So nice and relaxed, I mean. So we're going to inhale. As we exhale, the exhale is all about slowing the movement down. So we're not trying to close the ribcage really hard, we're trying to slow the descent of the ribcage down. So the inhale is about creating lots of space, and the exhale is about putting the brakes on the exhale. So we're only exhaling to where our ribcage will naturally come to. So we want mobility in here. So inhaling through the nose. We want to make sure that when we're breathing, that the belly button is not moving down. So if you watch again. Good. As you inhale, if you put your fingers just to the sides here of your abdominal wall as well, you'll notice as you inhale and open to the sides and press, you'll notice that the muscle starts working, and then so you feel this tension almost in the muscle, and then as you exhale, muscles are still working, but you don't feel that tension so much. So we want to be working the abdominals while we're doing these exercises with breathing. Now, not just think about the lateral movement, I'd like you to feel about the expansion of the rib cage into your hands at the back too. So feeling the movement into the back of your body too. So not just to the sides. So we're going to inhale, sides and back. Exhale, or you can do it through your nose, inhaling. Now we do want some sternal movement while we're breathing. So we don't just want to be breathing into the lower ribs. We also want to get a little bit of sternal movement here, because if we don't, and this becomes quite tight in here, this is where we start to get this kind of drawing inwards like this. So we want to make sure we've got a little bit of sternal movement too. So as we inhale, we're going to open to the sides laterally. We're going to open behind us, and we're also going to think about sending the air to our sternum here. So starting with the lower ribs first, and then back and then sternum. So take a deep breath in. And then exhale. Try and keep the sternum a little bit high as you exhale. So we're not doing we're doing a, keep it high. Perfect. Now let's get in a rhythm for that. So we're going to do like 4 of these. So take a nice deep breath in. Put the brakes on as you exhale, keep the sternum high. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Now I'd like you to don't just send the air here on the inhale, I'd like you to also send it down towards your pelvis here. So we're going to inhale, widening to the sides and behind, and then we're also going to send the air in 2 directions, like it's going whoosh up and down. Okay, so inhaling. Exhaling. You feel that movement? Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Now as you exhale, I'd like you to think about your coccyx and your head going in opposite directions. So you can think about your sacrum and your head going in opposite directions too. So your head's going to raise up above here and your sacrum's going to go down the way. At the same time, we're widening to the sides behind and up and down with the breath here. And as this stays a little bit high and this draws back in on the exhale, our spine is going to be lengthening. So let's do 4 breaths, focusing on that. So widening to sides behind, sternum to pelvis, and then exhaling, thinking about everything drawn back into the centre, but the spine getting wide. So inhaling. 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 One more, all of it. Now taking your hands away, feet hip distance apart. Nice soft knees. Good. Gazing straight towards your horizon. We're just going to soften our eyes and we're going to just visualize that breathing as we breathe. So 4 breaths again. Take a nice deep breath in. Good. Inhale, you can do it through your nose. Inhaling. From the side. Okay. So we've had a good look at the lateral breathing, and the apnea breath that we're going to look at next follows directly on from this lateral breathing. So you want to really feel this breath in this whole torso area. Lastly, before we finish for this little video, I'd like you to think about your pelvic floor. So as we inhale, widen to the sides, behind, up and down, I'd like you also to think about your pelvic floor widening. You can think about your whole pelvis softening if that's easier. And then as we exhale, we're going to think about the length in the spine. So sides, back, up and down, widening. And then length for your exhale as everything else draws back into the center. So 3 breaths, let's do 3 breaths. So taking your time, soft knees, relax your jaw. Let's go for it. Take a nice deep breath in. You can use your hands to think about your pelvis. Think about your pelvic floor. Excellent. So this was lateral breathing, using the whole, for 360 breathing, using the whole body. So thinking about the pelvic floor also opening during the inhale, and thinking about that length in the spine during the exhale. So next video, next thing to look at is your apnea breath.
Okay, so disembodied head, look at my toes. Their feet are so important for your pelvic floor. They share a similar nerve root or the same nerve root. So the nerves that innervate your toes can also help to innervate your pelvic floor and your pelvis. So there's 250 to 300,000 nerve endings in your feet. So let's try moving them. So the first one, we're going to lift our big toe up independently of the other toes. We want to be thinking about this toe moving towards its opposite foot, not towards the foot that it comes from. We also want to feel like we're stretching it forwards and lifting it up at the same time. Then we're going to lift all our toes up and place just our big toe down. Now when we place this big toe down, we want to feel like we're pressing it into the ground. We want to still feel like it's pulling towards the opposite foot and pressing away from us. Then I'm going to lift all the toes up, and let's try putting just your little toe down. Now, if you've had to roll your foot over to get your little toe down, roll your foot back, keeping that little toe on the ground and trying to keep all the other ones elevated. It's a bit hard on this forest floor because it's a bit bumpy. That's my excuse. Then I'm going to lift them all up and place the big toe down first and then the little toe down, keeping the middle 3 as elevated as I can. It's still work in progress for stretching them out, but look, they're going. Then I'm going to place them all back down again, and I'm going to lift the big toe, the next toe, the next toe, the next toe, and the next toe up. And I'm going to go back the way. Toe, 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 toe. Excellent. Once you've done that on one foot, you're going to try doing it on the other foot as well. Happy toes. Goodbye.
You need a little rolled up towel, like a little shower towel or a little blanket. We're going to take our blanket and we're going to place it on our sacrum this way. So first of all, we're going to come to lying down and we're going to test first of all to see how your pelvis feels before we get started. So not putting the blanket in first. We're going to lie on our backs, legs fully extended, and just feel how your pelvis feels. Feel how your legs feel how your lower back feels. Are you more anteriorly tilted on your pelvis? Is your back off the floor? Or are you completely flat on the floor? Or somewhere in between? So then we're going to take our rolled up towel and we're going to place it underneath the sacrum the way I showed you. Okay. So the first pattern of movement that we're going to do here is we're going to move from side to side. So moving our sacrum side to side. Yep, good. I'm going to do this like we're giving a massage for our sacrum, so releasing tension. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tilt forwards and backwards. So we're doing a pelvic tilt backwards, so using the towel like it is a train track or a road or a flight pattern thing. So we're going forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. And as we're doing this, our hip bones are opening, closing, opening, closing, not hip bones, but ASAS bones, I keep saying hip bones. Okay, then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep our knees as straight up as we can here. So they're going to be pointing as straight up as we can, and we're going to try and keep them the same distance apart. So look where they are just now. Then we're going to allow this side of pelvis to fall off or slip down the side of the towel. Then back to the center, and then the other side. And again, we're being aware of our knees and the space between our knees as we slip from one side to the other. So we want to make sure we're not kind of doing this on our knees as we go over. So you want to feel one side sliding off the towel. You can have your elbows on the floor and your hands on your abdominals or on your ribs. So one side sliding off, the other side is staying on. So we're getting that movement in the pelvis, that side to side movement that we need for movement and for walking. And we're also starting to engage the pelvic floor. Then from here, we're going to lift one leg up to tabletop position and then release the feet. So we're just pulling the legs up into position here. And then I'd like you to do a little circle. So keeping your knees kind of parallel to each other, we're going to do a little circle over the top of the towel. So imagine you've got a pencil between your knees, that you're drawing a circle in the sky is the nicest way to find this. So we're going to do one direction and then the other direction. Great. Just right over the towel. Good. And then we're going to place both our feet back down. We're going to stretch one of our legs out and allow it to open. We're going to take the other hand and stretch it, the opposite hand, and stretch it above our head. And we're going to take 2 big breaths here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Then moving that leg in and out. Good, then bring it up. And then repeat on the other side, stretch the leg out, allow it to open. Take the opposite arm up, 2 breaths. Then turning that leg in and out. Then bring it back up. Then moving again from side to side, like a little side winder. So massaging the back of the sacrum, side to side, side to side, side to side. Good. For another 4, 3, 2, 1. Now remove the blanket or the towel. Stretch your legs out and just feel how your pelvis feels now. So hopefully it feels warmer. Perhaps it feels a bit flatter. Perhaps there's less tension in your back. Perhaps your back's closer to the floor. Perhaps you feel a little bit more centered in yourself. And just for a final thing, we're going to turn our feet in and out, in and out, in and out. So well done, everybody. Using this exercise at the beginning of a supine workout would be a great way to just have that release before you get started.
Okay, so this exercise is to release tension in your TMD. So this is if you've got disorder. So this is if you constantly grind your teeth and everything. So you're going to place your tongue against the back of your teeth at the roof of your mouth, just gently, and you're going to allow your jaw to drop down. Now make sure your head is over your shoulders, your rib cage is over your hips, and that's all you're going to do 10 times. 10 times, have a break, 10 times, have a break, 10 times, have a break. That's it.